To watch 4-year-old Emma Haynes today, you'd never know she was born with holes in her heart.
Well, Emma was born with 2 holes in her heart, an ASD and a VSD. And the VSD closed on its own, so for her whole life we've been watching and waiting for her ASD to close. And a few years ago, they decided that the ASD was not going to close on its own, so we needed to take some intervention to have the hole sewn up.
Emma's condition is not rare. Cardiovascular disease is America's leading birth defect, as well as the main cause of non-accidental death in children under 15.
Heart disease is a significant player in shortening the lives of Americans. The American Heart Association is extremely important to physicians such as myself because it allows for education, teaching, and research in the areas that I practice.
Less than a decade ago, the surgery needed to fix a heart like Emma's was much more invasive and risky. Patients were left with a scar running from the neck to the belly button. But these days, thanks to medical advances,
I tend to make very small incisions and use scopes and cameras to illuminate and magnify what I'm looking at. And then using very long, slender instruments, I'm able to repair lesions. Most patients can go home very, very quickly within a matter of a couple of days.
But surgery is still surgery with all its inherent risks.
Meeting with his staff pretty much sealed the deal of where we were going because he had a nurse, Jill, who basically walks you around, and she said that every half hour or so during the surgery she was going to come and sit with us and tell us what was happening. And that was really what we were looking for, to try and have someone who had Emma's best interest at heart and was going to make us feel the most comfortable that we could.
Dr. Michael Black and his team believe in total preparation.
Our hospital is very family-centered, and my nurse practitioner, or my clinical nurse specialist part of me, was able to tour them around the hospital. So they met people from all the disciplines, whether anesthesia, the nursing in the ICU.
I think what was probably the best part was the day before the surgery, being able to go and the child life people were there, right. And they were able to sit down. Emma and another little boy who was having some surgery got to sit down, and with the dolls and going through the procedure, acting it out and explaining what was going to happen. The day of the surgery, Emma had no anxiety at all. She walked right in there, knew what was going on.
Her close-knit family, who call themselves the Party of 11, gathered at California Pacific Medical Center to see Emma through it.
They also said we needed to come up with a little plan of whether or not she wanted to get read when she was falling asleep, or if she wanted to sing a song. So she picked a song that she liked to sing, and so we sang it together until she fell asleep.
I fell asleep really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, did you see my eyes going like that?
I saw your eyes go like that. And so that made a big difference, as I didn't have to be so worrisome because she knew what was going to happen, and she knew. She kept telling me Dr. Black was going to fix her heart, huh?
The surgery went just as Dr. Black predicted, and within hours, Emma was out of the operating room and on her way to recovery.
I remember talking to her after it all happened, and I said to her, "We never have to do this again, honey." And that's...
She said, "My surgery's over forever." And she was just dancing.
2 days later, Emma was home.
We were amazed that in only 2 days to go home and not even be on any prescription medication for pain. She was taking over-the-counter Advil. And that was it. She hit the door running, and our whole job was just trying to slow her down so she wouldn't fall.
She snuck outside to ride her bike. She climbed her shelves to get toys off the top of her bookshelves.
Her prognosis is almost the same as any other child's, a full and healthy life ahead, with a few extra medical checkups for good measure.
That's also that.
You want to show
That's
me?
her scar.
You want to show?
You want to
You want to show your scar?
Can you show her your scar? Can you pull it down a little bit? And say that's where the actual surgery was, where you fixed your heart. And this little tiny one is where the tube was that drained out all the extra fluid.
If it wasn't for the American Heart Association, for people donating money for medical research, Dr. Black couldn't be where he is right now, and we would have, been doing a 1964 procedure to try and do this, and had a 50%, death rate. My thoughts are what's going to be possible in 5 years from now. If people continue to give, what kind of research can happen, and Next thing you know, you get heart surgery and you go home that afternoon. But it all takes money and research to get there.
You guys go above and beyond what you expect. Dr. Black really is an innovator.
They have a tremendous family. They're real givers to society. The grandfather's a fireman and the father's a policeman, so it's always nice to help people who help us as well.
Medicine can transform a body, but going beyond medicine can transform a life. California Pacific Medical Center, beyond medicine.